Hello, and welcome to your webinar, Smart Shipping for Business Part 2. Today, we will continue the discussion about how rising costs of shipping and package delivery is attacking your business's bottom line. My name is David Risen. Bill Mead and I own OMECorp, also known as Oklahoma Mailing Equipment, where we meet all of your mailing and shipping needs. We also have Genesis of Oklahoma for all your copier and document imaging solutions. We are proud to sponsor today's webinar on Smart Shipping for Business Part 2. If you missed Smart Shipping for Business Part 1, enter a request into our Q&A area and we'll send you a copy. As in Part 1, Andy will be your host, but I'll be answering all of your questions throughout the webinar. When you have a question, just click on the question mark icon on the left side and you'll see a dialog box appear on the right. Just type your question into the dialog box and I'll answer it as soon as I see it. So I'll let Andy take it from here.
Thanks, David. As you heard, I'm Andy, your host, and today we dive even deeper into how you can add big savings to your company's bottom line by being proactive in your shipping methods. Now, we've all heard the quote, "You cannot improve what you do not measure," right? Well, did you know that you can measure and ultimately improve your shipping costs and delivery accuracy? That's just one component of what we will explain today. As David mentioned, he'll be answering questions during the webinar. So again, feel free to type in your questions and your answer should appear as soon as he's answered. He will answer as many as time allows during the presentation. If he misses a question, or if you think of one later, feel free to email those questions to your web manager at glc@omecorp.com. You should also see a poll question come up, so pay close attention to those icons on the left. And when it's time for the poll, just click on this icon and your poll answers will appear on the right. Now, to respect your limited time, I'm going to cover a lot of good information in a short amount of time and at a fairly quick pace, so buckle up. In our last webinar, we discussed the big three mail and parcel carriers, the U.S. Postal Service, UPS, and FedEx. Today, we will continue that discussion and expand on 4 more highly important areas to get the most out of your shipping while taking less from your bottom line. These topics will be service level optimization, the importance of address quality, parcel returns with failed deliveries, and the power of analytics. Now, most of you are probably asking yourself, what is service level optimization? Well, within each carrier, we all know there are delivery choices known as service levels. Most limit that to overnight, second day, and ground. But within each of these delivery levels are a number of special designations, including Saturday delivery, AM or PM delivery, adult signature required, and many, many more. Traditional thinking has rates always based on weight and distance. Distance alone can be much more complex than most think because distance in shipping is based on zones. And zones are based on the distance that a package travels from origination to destination and increase as the distance gets further away. For example, I live in Tulsa, and my Zone 2 could reach to Wichita, but shipping to Dallas would mean Zone 3 rates. That's important to know because carriers tell us that within your Zone 1, carriers can deliver within 1 day using only ground. Knowing that, why would you ever spend the extra money to use second day or overnight when the less expensive ground will get your package there in the same day in Zone 1? That is service level optimization. Here's another. If you're shipping to Zone 2 on a Friday and your package needs to be there by the next business day, why would you ever overnight when second day will do the same for far less money? It's obvious we need to challenge our way of thinking and the service levels we choose. A best practice, or what we like to call our light bulb moment, might be to establish service level business rules. You could create a handout with graphics as a visual aid to explain your zones and service levels to educate everyone in your company that would impact the need for a package to be shipped. Due to recent rate changes, your overall shipping costs are going up. Your shipping budgets are going to need to increase, and we don't know the full impact yet because the first bills are just now starting to roll in. What we do know is that by adding the additional component of shape, not just weight plus distance, it's now more important than ever for us to throw out traditional thinking and truly understand service level optimization. By optimizing our service levels, we are determining the best way to get the best price from the best carrier to get the best delivery and securing that delivery. Now, let's ask a poll question. Which department do you think is affected by address quality? Is it accounting, purchasing, sales, service, shipping, human resources, or all departments? On your right, you'll see departments, and you just click on your best answer there. We'll take a moment. All right. I'm seeing accounting quite a lot, but as usual, we have a pretty smart crowd. Most of you picked all departments, and that's correct. Address quality is important to every department in your business. From going out on sales calls when you'll need the correct physical address, to using it in billing for an invoice. Today, we'll focus on address quality and shipping. There are many reasons your shipping department needs to have correct, valid, and up-to-date addresses. Poor address quality has an immediate impact on delivery timeliness, lost and undelivered packages, and upset customers, and a long-term impact as well. Increase in shipping costs, lost sales, and less repeat business. Today we are talking about the address quality, validation, and correction when sending packages. We'll be discussing address quality at the time of use, not when entered nor where we store it, but when we use the address for shipping. The importance of a correct and valid address is probably the first question we need to address in this segment. Here are a few statistics about address quality. First, 5% of all package and mail pieces are undeliverable as addressed by the U.S. Postal Service. Over 6 billion mail pieces and packages do not get delivered annually. Up to 23.6% of all mail contains common addressing errors. And 40% of bad addresses are related to data entry. It's important to know the nature of your business can impact the accuracy of your customer's address. For example, office equipment companies are business-to-business or B2B type business. Businesses don't move as often as people or as frequently and are a lot easier to find given that almost every business has a website and we can find them if they move. Insurance companies face greater address challenges as a business-to-consumer or B2C type business. Typically, people don't directly notify all the companies they receive packages or bills from of their new address. People don't have websites and they don't list their personal information online. So whether you are a B2C or a B2B, address quality is important, and here's why. There is human error when entering addresses, and of course, people and businesses move. In fact, 40 million or more people move every year, and 75% of the population moves every 5 years. So how do we find them? More importantly, where is the best address information? How do I make sure the address is valid and correct? It's simple. The U.S. Postal Service delivers to every person and every business 6 days of the week. UPS and FedEx might deliver to every person and every business eventually, but not like the post office. So the U.S. Post Office will have the best information, right? Well, here's proof. When you move, you submit a change of address form to the post office. The U.S. Postal Service processes more than 38 million change of address forms annually. The post office has your willingness to file that form so that you can get your mail. It only makes sense that they're going to have the latest information on who has moved and when. So when you're shipping a package, whether it's a B2B or B2C, we want to validate and cleanse the address at that time of use in order to ensure that package gets to your customer. In fact, address cleansing is such an important topic to your business that we are dedicating the entire next webinar to it. That brings us right back to your bottom line. So carriers charge for address corrections and the return of the package back to you because of a bad address. For the next section, let's define. UAA stands for undeliverable as addressed, and a single piece of undeliverable mail can result in a billable charge. These examples are from the carrier's websites and are subject to change. UPS charges UAA of $10 per shipment. UPS may attempt to find the correct address and complete delivery for $11. FedEx Express charges $60 for each address correction in its U.S. freight service. FedEx Ground charges $11. USPS will simply return a UAA package or charge $11.50 for a package intercept. USPS money-back guarantee will not apply for shipments classified as undeliverable. Carriers can bill you for many reasons. Just a few are attempted delivery, rural address, address correction, return to sender, additional handling, forwarding, delivery reattempt, delivery area surcharge, delivery change, or undeliverable package return charge. The sky's the limit for extra charges they can invoice back to your company. Many of those individual charges from carriers can range from $11 to $55 each. At times, your return or correction charge can be greater than the cost of shipping the package to begin with. Most of us recognize that every single package sent has some level of financial transaction associated, which makes it important that we take the time and effort necessary to verify, validate, correct, and cleanse the address at the time of use with the best information available to us. Otherwise, it could cost us more than just shipping that package. One of the best practices I can tell you for my organization was to create an address update procedure because addresses are held in a multitude of places. Addresses can be held in core software, shipping system address books, or contact management software. In most organizations, those are not centralized or even linked. So when you change an address in one area, it doesn't necessarily change it in another. With a procedure in place, when a new address comes available, you will know all the places that the address needs to change. So when you ship to that address or use that address at any level within your business, you will ensure that it's the best quality address, verified and cleansed at the most recent use. What creates frustration and fear more than anything in shipping? It's when a package is missing, believed to be stolen, or just doesn't get delivered. That's what we classify as parcel returns with failed deliveries. One of our biggest challenges is that when something doesn't get delivered, we usually don't know about it until either the customer calls to ask where their package is, or the package comes back as undeliverable. Once we know there is a problem, anyone has the ability to track a package. The carriers have made that easy. The problem is that you have to initiate the request. You can go online and type in your account number and/or your tracking number. The challenge is the carrier account numbers usually aren't given out in most organizations. Also, packages are typically shipped by the shipping department, so you typically have to request tracking numbers from shipping. All the while, that frustration and fear continues for you and your customer. We all know time is money, and there's no better example to have a centralized shipping system. Now, what if the shipment didn't meet the level of delivery guarantee we paid for? UPS, FedEx, and USPS have GSRs, or Guaranteed Service Refunds, as follows, taken directly from their websites and subject to change by them. For UPS, requests for a guaranteed service refund must be made by the person or company who paid shipping charges to UPS, and must be made 15 days after the scheduled delivery date. If you are the payer, you can submit your requests for guaranteed service refund in one of two ways. You can call 1-800-PIC-UPS and say refund. Or if you have a shipping account, you can go online to the UPS Billing Center. Note, you will need to create a My UPS user ID if you don't already have one. For the United States Postal Service, you must request a postage refund within 30 days of purchase. You must make your request at your local post office. Or you can call the Customer Care Center at 1-800-222-1811. For FedEx, you can request a guaranteed service refund within 15 calendar days in one of three ways. You could submit claims online at fedex.com/US/claims online. Send written claims, including the completed claim form and supporting documentation, via the U.S. Postal Service or fax to FedEx Cargo Claims Department, P.O. Box 256, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania 15230. Then the fax number is 1-877-229-4766. If you fax your completed claim form and supporting documentation, FedEx will send you a confirmation letter by return fax. Or you can call customer service at 1-800-GO-FedEx and say claims. As we discussed in this segment, costly charges are added to every invoice just to attempt additional delivery. There's a cost if they have to return it, or if there's a failed delivery, regardless if it is because of the contents of the package or the address was bad. What we need to do is understand what causes a return. As you can see, it's more important than ever to know the impact of carriers' rate increases and how ancillary charges affect your bottom line. The only way to know the exact increase to your shipping cost and find the absolute best carrier for any given shipment at any given time is to calculate the impact on every single line item of your parcel invoice. But most companies don't have time for this or the know-how. That would fill another skilled, full-time position in your organization, and that's not cost-effective. As you can see, it is more important than ever to know the impact of the carrier's rate increases on your bottom line. How do you do that? With measurement and analysis, also known as analytics. The power of analytics are indispensable to your organization. Most shippers believe all you need to know is how to get the best rate for the most efficient delivery of your package. But there is so much more that you can measure and analyze to help your organization get the biggest bang for their buck. Analytics are more than how my package was sent. How much did it cost? How long did it take? Was it on time? Was it returned? And was there an issue with delivery? In actuality, our carriers collect 50+ points of data about your shipment and your package. Analytics is how you make good business decisions. You don't need to know all 50 points. You need to know each of your carrier's valuable information consolidated into a single report. Analytics is like reporting for your company's shipping health. It's like deploying a virtual consultant for all of the shipping in your company, not just your shipping department. Scott Knight with ParcelView travels the country showing shippers how to negotiate the best rates with their carriers, and he points out why analytics are so important. Most of us don't understand the true impact of the cumulative rate increases from the carriers on their bottom line, and those who do realize this usually don't think there's anything they can do about it. We've heard, "I can't fight these mega carriers like UPS or FedEx, or even the Postal Service because I need them for my business." Or, "I don't have the tools and resources or the training, so I just have to take it." Well, here's some frightening statistics for you. Carriers approximate the impact of rate increases. When they announce rate increases to the public, they calculate as if every shipper ships one package to every zone with each rate, and they then calculate an average rate increase to release to the public. No one ships that way. They actually increase the rates more where there is more volume shipped and less where there are smaller volumes. For example, 1 to 5 pound ground packages will increase by about 6.4%, while shipments over 70 pounds will only raise by an average of 1.9%. That's an average of little over 4%, but through this example, you can tell that most shippers will see a significantly higher impact than that number, because we all know the higher volume is in the lighter packages. Minimum charge has gone up 82% over the last 10 years. Compared to the Consumer Price Index, which has only gone up 24% in the last 10 years, you can see the huge impact on your rates. You get hit with this regardless of the rates you have negotiated with the carriers. New surcharges are not included in the average. The carriers continually add more and more surcharges that are not calculated into their announced rate increase impact. For example, in 2006, there was no extended area delivery surcharge on the ground. Now in 2015, 46% of all U.S. zip codes will be covered by that surcharge at $3.80 per package. Dimensional weight on ground may exceed the impact of the rate increase. Just as we discussed in depth in part 1 of this topic, every few years the carriers will drastically change the way they calculate some charge, and this year's change could be the largest yet. Dimensional weight pricing on all ground packages is going to have a substantial impact on many shippers. A 14-inch by 14 by 14-inch, 12-pound Zone 8 package will cost 23% more to ship this year. We now know it is time to evaluate. There are too many outstanding questions, such as how much will our costs increase now that we have to consider shape with weight and distance? Do we have standardized or traditional thinking? Am I sending overnight when I could get away with second day or ground? How can I mitigate returns from bad or inadequate addresses? How do I make carriers accountable with their delivery guarantees? The 3 big questions are: what am I shipping? What is it costing me? And what is the effect if there's a change required? We evaluate by analyzing invoices. Analyzing invoices is easy. There are free services that you can submit carrier invoices through. We offer services like Neo Analytics to give you a breakdown of your shipping habits. But you also need to analyze internally what you're shipping, and that has to be done by a professional. Someone needs to be brought in to help you determine the right size packaging and the right way to ship. And finally, the expected effect if a change is required is this: I expect not to have out-of-control costs in my budget. I will know that over the next 12 months, my shipping expenses are going to be in my expected range. I know that I'm choosing a carrier that gives me the best way for the best price and the best choice for a more consistent delivery to my customer. I'm wanting to ensure that I'm meeting the needs of my customer. If you don't have these systems in place now, we can help you implement analytics to improve your organization's bottom line through better measurement, better decisions, and faster response times to help you retain those customers you have worked so hard to win over. Please watch for your invite to our next webinar. And now let's get to our final Q&A, and I'm going to throw it back to the guys in the trenches. For that, here's David.
Thanks, Andy. That was great information. I hope we were able to take some of the guesswork out of Smart Shipping for Business. I hope this webinar has been informative and educational, and that I've answered all of your questions. If not, I'll hang around a little while longer. Just type them into the dialog box on the right, and I'll answer as many as possible. Or feel free to send an email to your web manager, glc@omecorp.com, and I'll get them answered. Once again, be sure to watch out for your email invites to upcoming webinars. A couple of those topics are address quality health check and quick fixes for your postage machine. As always, feel free to email with suggestions for future topics. Thanks again for joining us, and good luck with your Smart Shipping for Business.